Okay, here we go. Welcome everybody to this webinar on QPay. It's good to be with you all today, and we have, I think, a really good presentation. I've spent quite a bit of time going through all this, and hopefully I can run QFloors. I don't work in it every day like you guys, but I think I can muddle through this a little bit. So now this is where I want to get into going through all the features in QFloors, and hopefully I can do this and show you how this all works. Okay, I'm going to bring up QFloors and show you the screen and all that kind of stuff. First of all, we're going to go through the most basic things, and then we'll go to the more advanced things and some of our newer things. Okay, so first of all, we're going to look at credit card sell, doing it with a terminal versus doing it keyed in. And by the way, doing a debit card is the very same thing as a credit card. Okay, so let's come over to QFloors and we'll come into here now. So I'm going to come over and we are going to make a payment on this cell right here. So I think you all know how to bring up a cell, and we're not going to go into all that, but we're going to click on our payments button down here. And if you let me see, I'm going to go into this one right here, actually. That doesn't have any in here. I think everybody knows how you would normally make a credit card payment, right? So if you had not QPay, if you just had some other processor and you came in here and had to make a credit card payment because somebody gave you a card, you would just come in here, put in a payment, put in an employee name like this, hit add payment, right? And it's just going to add the credit card payment in here. It's not connected to QPay, whatsoever. And on these payments, you could just come right back in here and delete them if you have the rights, the security access settings to do that. You could just delete it, right? Well, that's how you do it manually. Well, with QPay, when you take a credit card payment, you're going to come in here, and I'm going to put an amount in here like this. And instead of hitting add payment, you're going to hit the QPay button down here like this, which brings up a screen. Now, in this demonstration today, in this webinar, I'm not going to type in any credit cards or bring up my actual emails just for privacy concerns, right? I don't want you using my credit card. I don't want to have to go get a new credit card, type in my own numbers and stuff like that. So I'm not going to do that, but I will show you how this all works. And I can process a terminal through a terminal by just tapping my card. And so I wanted to show you how that would be done. So if I'm just going to do a terminal with tapping my card, I'm going to grab my credit card terminal right here like this, right? So this will be setting out on your desk. All you have to do is push this button. And when you push the button, you'll see that now it comes up and it shows you that it's waiting for a $1 charge, $1.05 charge to be made, right? This particular terminal, which is the ones we sell now, are all touch. So all you have to do is come up here and touch your credit card on top of it. Okay. And now it's approved. You can see that it went approved. And now it's back to here. And once it goes approved and everything like that, then the screen comes up here that tells me that I actually did $1.05. I can actually print this, or I can email it. The email, when you actually email it, looks like, let me come off of here. Actually, I'm going to get out of here. And you can see that it put $1.05 in the payment screen right here, right? And now let me get to where the email, what it looks like. Let me get back here. Okay. So this is what the email, it would have your logo up here, right? And this is what the customer would look like when you email them the receipt. Okay. So that's how that kind of works. Okay. And that's just, by doing it. Now, you can actually void or return. So the difference between void and return, if you are canceling a payment on the same day as you made the payment or took the payment, you can do a void and it will never show up on the customers, they won't even know that you did it, right? If you are doing it after the same day, after it's been batched out, then you have to do a return instead of a void. And that's the difference between the two, okay? The way that you do a void and a return is exactly the same. So I'm going to show you, this is how I would void that back out. So let's say I didn't want to do that. I hit credit card void. I hit the minus sign. I go to $1.05 like that. It has to be the same amount. You have to click on the line, so it has to be highlighted. And once I do that, then I just put a employee in there, hit QPay, and then it's going to say, do you want a void? You just said process the void like that. And then it's going to come up with a void. And again, you can hit the email and you can email them. Whatever their email is in here will pop up automatically, or you can put a different one there for them to email it. Okay. So that's what it kind of looks like when you email. Okay. Okay. So then if we go past that, let me come back over here. So that's credit card and debit cards work that way, right? ACH. You can see that we have e-check is what we call our ACH. It's kind of a common term out there now for electronic check. So if you're doing ACH, you could come in here, same exact thing. You can hit QPay. Oh, before I do that, I'm going to come back. Credit. Let's do this. I'm going to do a keyed in version. Sorry about that. So if I come back here and instead of hitting process with terminal, I hit key in transaction like this right here. And now you can see that you could actually type the card, the expiration date, all of this kind of stuff, and it will run it for you. We do, if you're typing something in, we do require a correct zip code. If you put in the wrong zip code, it will not be processed. Okay. Why do we make that? And quite honestly, before, like Heartland or other partners, they didn't care about zip codes. You could put the wrong zip code in, it would still run it through. Why do we care? Because in most cases, it's about anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2%. I've even seen up to 0.75% difference in the charge that you're going to get charged if the zip code is wrong versus right. Okay. So that's another improvement that we've made in QPay is we require correct zip codes. And it's just for your protection and to make sure that you're getting the best rate. So you're saving all this money, right? So that's just a key thing that you need to remember. The billing house number does not need to be correct, but it will give you a warning if it's not. It'll come back, but it will still process it through. Having the house number doesn't make any difference in the rate. So that's why we kind of made it that way, to just give you a warning instead. Okay. It's this zip code that matters the most. And by the way, did you know that names on cards are not checked? You can put any name in at anywhere. Like I even did it with Walmart one time, right? You just put in any stupid name and it will still go through. So names are not checked. It's zip codes, credit card numbers, expiration dates, that kind of thing. Okay. And the CVV number down here. Okay. So that's about typing in credit cards. By the way, the fraud thing issue, I'm not going to deal with that right now. There's we have a website. If you go to our website, there's type in credit card fraud. You can find a whole article. I mean, I could spend a whole half an hour, and maybe I'll do another one afterwards on fraud. I just don't have the time right now, but it's a big thing. So just make sure that if you're doing cash and carry sales, that's the one where everybody's getting nailed right now, that you know who the person is, that you don't just take it from anybody. Okay. All right. So that's process with keyed in transaction, and then we have process with terminal. Okay. So those are the two kinds of things that we have there. So then we have e-check, right? So that's where I was getting to there a little bit ahead of myself. And again, if I just hit my QPay button here now, you can see that there's only a keyed in transaction option here with this. And so you can put in the account number and the routing number and the amount, and it will go ahead and it will actually do a transaction here. You just hit the process with keyed info here. Okay, so that's how that works. Pretty much the same as a credit card. You just have a different account number and a routing number. Technically, if you are doing it this way, you should have a form that people would sign that authorize you to make a charge out of your account, their account. Keep that on file at your store. A lot of people will just have those out on the desk if you're doing ACH one-time agreements like this. That's a way. I'll show you a better way to do ACH here in just a second. Okay. So that's how you do ACH. Pricing on ACH. Let me, the price, let's see. So somebody's asking about the pricing on ACH. Let me go through that at the end. Aaron, if you would remind me about that. We've got a section on pricing at the end. Let me put all that together. But we have new pricing. That's why I'm stuttering a little bit. There's some new pricing on it. We're almost, 30 or 40% lower than what it has been in the past. So it's under a 0.5% for ACH. Let's see here. All right. So now let me get back to my slideshow here and make sure I'm not missing anything. Let me get out of here real quick. All right. So we did the credit card, terminal cell, keyed in cell, ACH. ACH is keyed in. Now we want to talk about tokens. Okay. And we have a bunch of different things about tokens that people should be aware of. Some people are opting not to do tokens anymore, but I mean, it's still, it's very, very popular. It's either tokens or it's processed on a website, which we'll show you later on. So, or both, it's a combination of both, right? So let's talk about tokens for a second. Whoops, went to the wrong screen. All right, so the whole idea about tokens is that you can process a card or key in a card and assign it to what we call a token. And what that does is when we use a token to do a process, the card information is stored at a secure card vault location, which is separate from QFloors, from our cloud, from everything. It's in a separate location that's secure, that has all this PCI security stuff on it. You know, there's a lot of things that you have to do to be able to store a card. And so this card vault place gives us a token for that card when we check it out. And then anytime we use that token, they can go look up what the actual card information is by the token name, and then we can process a card. So we can store the token in our system because it's secure. It's a secure way to do all this. Okay. And so we're totally in compliance with all that, but that's what a token is. So let me show you how you would do a token. So if I come in here, and by the way, you can do a token for a credit card or an e-check. It doesn't matter, either one. Okay. So if I come in here and let's do $1.10 like this. Okay. You can see that there's this save token button right here. Okay. So if I click on this, when I'm processing a card, okay. So if I hit the save token button like this, and now I do my process like this, okay. And you've already seen how I process with the terminal, right here. I guess I'll just do it again. I'll just tap my card again. It says approved on there. There it comes. All right. Oh, and then the other part about this, oops. Where did of course, there's a zip code that it's going to be asking for a zip code when it comes into there. Oh, there it went right there. Sorry, it was back behind. So if you are taking a token and you do it through a terminal, there's no way to put the zip code in. So I'm just showing you that there is, if you're going to do it through a terminal, you have to type in a zip code for that token so that the zip code is associated with the token. If you're keying in the card, you're already putting the zip code in. So that's why it's asking you for a zip code. Okay. So it takes a zip code and then you're good to go again. Okay. Now, when I come back in on this same sales order, if I come back in to do another credit card payment, let's just say for $2 here, and I hit QPay again, you can see that it has a token here. And so now if I process with this token, it will go ahead and use the token instead of requiring a credit card or requiring it to be typed in again. So that's what a token is. That's what it's all about. Okay. Let's see. So that is how that all works. Let me finish the tokens and I'll come back and answer some of these questions here that I'm getting. So that's how you use a token. If you don't want to have, and that token will stay associated with this sales order forever, unless you take it off. So you can see if I come back here, come back in, do credit, QPay. Let's see, I got to go like $1. You can see that the token's still there. If I uncheck this like that, it will actually delete the token. Okay. So that it will no longer be saved with that sales order and it will no longer come up in the future. Obviously, a great way to use this feature is if you're taking a down payment for something and you want to charge the balance later on. This is a great way to be able to collect that money without having to go back with them, and got to make sure that you've got an agreement that you can collect the balance. But this is a great way to do this without trying to track people down. We've seen people's AR go way, way down with just using this feature. It's a great feature to have in your system. Now, there's another way to use tokens, and that is that you can get a token from another sales order. So let's say I'm dealing with two sales orders here, right? This one has a token. If I come in here and look at this one right here. Okay, this one has a token attached to it. That's $3.89 right here. And $3.90 does not. I just deleted the token out of there. So if I come back over here like this, and you can see I don't have a token here, but I want to use the token from this one because I don't want to have to go back and call the customer up and ask them for their credit card number so I can type it in, get the token or whatever. I just know that they have another sales order in there that already has one. You can copy the token from this one to this one. So if you see this down here where it says copy token, you can just click on that right there. And then if I know the sales order number or the customer name, let's just say John, if I just type in John like this and find, it will go find that $3.89 over here has a token on it, and it will only display in here sales orders with tokens, right? So it found this with a token. And so if I just double click on this right here, you can see that now on token 390, it's copied and now that token is attached. So that's a way that you can attach a token from another area, okay? The other part of tokens that you can do is you can put tokens with customer accounts, right? So if I have this Stevens School District down here, there's already a token that I saved with here. You just get Vault token here, and then you can save a token by putting in the credit card number or doing it through a terminal or ACH. You can assign a token to this customer account, like this one's right here, so that when you create a new customer account, right? So if I come up here and do this, and then I go to Stevens School District like this, hit save, and now I come down to the payment screen like this, do credit 1.00 like that, and QPay, you can see that it has a token there because it's the same customer account that has the token. Okay, so that's another way where you can get a token, to use a token with a sales order that you need to pay for. The last thing I want to show you with tokens has to do with leads. So there's another option in here. If you're checking out samples, you know, we have our sample checkout feature here. If you're checking out samples and you don't, and you want to take and you want to get a token from that customer, so in case they don't return the sample to you, that you can charge their credit card, right? So you don't want to charge it up front. Some people will actually charge the credit card $50, and then when they come back, they have to refund the credit card, all that kind of, and they have to keep track of it, and it goes into their batch. No, this is different. This is, you check out the sample here by adding the sample, right? And you check it out and all that kind of, I'm not going to go through all that. But once you check it out, then you can do QPay token here and go through the whole process, and it will get a token for your stuff there. Okay, so that's how that all works. All right, I just wanted to bring that up in case anybody was interested in that. So those are all the things that have to do with tokens. All right, let me get to some of these questions now. Is this available in Canada? No, it is not. Does this work with QPro? Yes. Some of the features work with QPro. All the ones that I've just shown you already work with QPro. From here on out, the features are not in QPro yet. Okay. But everything I showed you to this point are in QPro. The zip code that we're asking for, let's see. The zip code that we're asking for, what zip code is that? The zip code is actually the zip code that is tied to the credit card account. So if it's the one on their billing statement for that credit card, some people don't know what that is. If they don't know, you can actually go to the back of your credit card. There's a phone number on here that they can call their bank and give them the number of the credit card on here, and the bank can tell them what zip code it is. I've found that working almost every time. A lot of times people don't want to do that, so they give them another credit card that they know what the zip code is. Okay. What happens if the zip code is Canadian, not a 5-digit US zip code? It still works, I believe. Does it not work? I am not aware of that not working. I think you can still put that in. I'm not sure. Let's see, if it's Canadian, I'm pretty sure that we don't have the same feature as far as checking the zip code. Like, it'll still run it through, but the zip code match is not going to be in place for anywhere outside of the US. So if you're taking foreign credit cards, that's on you. You've got to make sure they're good, and you'll probably be getting charged a little bit higher rate, okay, on foreign credit cards. Are the tokens associated, another question, are the tokens associated with customer name? If we have a repeat customer wants to use the same card, all transactions? No, it's by customer account, not by name. So if you want to save a credit card for that person, you have to either do it through the customer account, or you either have to do it through the customer account feature or that other sharing feature. Those are the two things, the two ways that we have to get a token to be on that order for that customer. Okay. For PCI, do we have to erase tokens from our? No, you do not. PCI does not have any, PCI security has nothing to do with tokens. That's what I want to get through everybody's head. We are not saving credit card information on our computer, has nothing to do with that. Okay. Tokens are the secure way where we can save credit card, a link to a credit card in our system with being PCI compliant. People always have a fear of that, and it has nothing to do with that. Is QPay PCI compliant and the new DMARC requirement and the new DMARC requirement? PCI compliant, yes. The new DMARC compliant requirement, I'll have to get more information on that. I don't know. I've never been asked DMARC requirements. I don't know about that. Is it possible to create a link to send to it? All right, we're getting to that, Rhonda. So we're going to delete your question for a second, and then you can re-ask it if I don't answer it here in a second. How do you update an expiration date on a token? You have to get another credit card again. So if it's expired, then you have to get a new credit card and either swipe it through a terminal or retype it back in. How do you link a token to a customer account? All you do is up here, like I already showed you, basically you go to the customer account that you want right here. You hit get vault token, and it will go through a process. Let me just see. I'll just do this. Let's see. I'll hit no, and then it'll come right here to credit card, and right here it's the same screen where you can either process it with a terminal or use the key in to actually get the credit card token. So it's the same screen as down here on the payment screen. So that's how you do it. Okay. All right. What does it look like to mail out an all right, we're going to get to that. So Dallas, I'm going to take your thing out, and we're going to answer that question in a second. If not, you can re-ask it. Can we do a refund ticket with having a payment line? We want to be able to refund on a new ticket. You can only do refunds. All right, so this is a refund question. I'll quickly answer this. But if you need more help with a refund, just call into our support department. But basically, when you're doing a refund, it has to be refunded to the same ticket where you took the payment. So because you have to, when you're doing a refund up here, where we're that credit return right here, when you're doing that, you actually have to select the line that you're refunding from. Okay, so it has to be on that same ticket when you're doing a refund. Can we let's see. All right, thanks. All right, I think I'm through all the questions here. Now we're going to go to the let's see, one more question. It looks like I'm missing here. We currently use QPay, but the processor is Heartland. So this is a Heartland question. I'll call you afterwards. Specific to Heartland. We got to get moving through here a little bit, or we're not going to get through it. So Dennis, we'll take your name down. Aaron, take his name, and I'll call him back afterwards specifically about the Heartland question he has there. All right. So I think we're through all the questions here. So now we're getting to the fun part. This is some of the newer stuff. People are asking questions about this already. Okay. So we went through all this token stuff. I went through each one of these. Attached to a sales order, copy from another sales order, customer account, and sample checkout. Okay. One last thing that you should be aware of, this all sales feature. If you're on a payment screen, we have this all sales. This has to do with being able to pay for multiple sales orders with one check, right? So if somebody gave us a check for $1,000 right here, we want to be able to pay off this $837 and the $1,698 like this. So we can pay off multiple invoices, sales orders with one check or one payment. And in this case, it would be a Visa payment, right? Or a American Express. So we could go and we could do credit card, debit card, or e-check to pay off multiple sales orders with one Visa payment or one credit card payment. Okay. So I'm not going to go through all that right now, but just so you know, this feature does include the credit cards and QPay features. Okay. All right. Couple more questions. This may have already been addressed, but if not, is the merchant account discount rate? I don't know what that means. Is the token used? Is the charge the same if the card is swiped? No, the token rate. I'm going to get to rates later. I'll mention this one right now. Token rate is the same as a typed in rate, just so you know. So everybody's aware of that. So it is a little bit higher than a swiped rate. Okay. I don't know what discount rate means. Is the merchant discount rate? Dave, I might have to answer that one later. I'm not really sure. Okay. Okay. All right. So write down Dave and I'll get back with Dave later. All right. Yeah, we got to get through this. We're not getting through this. All righty. All right. So now we're on to online payments and websites. And Kerry, I forgot to ask you if it was okay, but I'm going to show everybody your website. Hopefully it's okay. I'm asking permission and hopefully you'll just let me show Rice's website. So our online payments, if you have a website, you can put a pay now button on your website like this dealer has here. That's one of our dealers and one of our customers. And when you click here, you can actually go through and put in, your customer can click on there, then they can come in here and they can put all their information in here on our new payment site. This is brand new, had it up now for 2 or 3 months. So this is a pretty new feature that we have. And so the customer can type in all their information like this. Okay. Hit next. And then if they know their sales order number, they can do that. They need to put something in there. If they don't know it, then they just need to type something. Put a payment amount in here. Oh, you have to click either check or credit card, right? So if it's an e-check, then you would click that. They have the option to do that if they have that account set up. You would put, this is where I'm not going to put in my credit card number, right? And expiration date. Okay. You need to put in a street address. Everything with a red dot means that you need to put it in. The other ones are optional. Okay. And then once you're done with this screen, then it's the review payment. So once you get to this screen right here, you're reviewing, the customers are reviewing all their payments. You hit make payment right down here, and it will process the payment through. Okay. Let me show you what it looks like. So on our web now, thing here, you've got the customer. This is what the customer receipt. So if the payment comes out correctly, this is what it looks like for the customer. It would have your logo up here at the top, right? Your company logo. So that's kind of what that looks like. And then this is also sent to the dealer, notifying them that the payment has been made. So it'll show you who the customer is, their sales order number, how much they paid. And then you could go in at this point and manually put a payment into QFloors. So that's what people are currently doing today, manually putting it into QFloors if they get one of these. Okay. So that's how that works. Okay. Okay, so a website button, that's one option for your customers. I showed you the customer receipt and the payment notice. That's what the two things I just showed you. Okay, pay now request. All of these things that I'm showing you now have to do with going to that website that I just showed you. Okay, pay now request. So this is inside of QFloors. On the payment screen right here, you can see that when I hit credit card, that there is this pay now request button that comes up right here, right? So if I click on this, it'll come up and it's going to send an email directly out of QFloors to the customer. Okay, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. You can put how much you want them to pay. So if it was just $5, you put it in there. You can adjust some of these things, who it's going to go to. You hit send. Okay, when you hit send, let me show you what the email looks like that they're going to be getting. Okay, it's going to look like pay now request, this thing right here. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And then if you were to hit this button right here in the email, it would actually take you to the website, the same one that I just showed you from Rice's. It will take it right up there. The difference is, and I'll show you this in just a second, the difference is that it's going to put the invoice number and the amount that you requested in there automatically. So the customer can't change the PO, they can't change the order number, and they can't change the amount that you're requesting from them. It's fixed in there. And I'll show you that in just a second. Okay. Question. Is there a way to save a token through the Pay Now screen? No, there's no way to save a token there. We'll talk about rates afterwards. So, okay. So that's how you do a Pay Now request, and that's how that works. Okay. Pay Now request. Pay Now with QReporter. So all these were questions that people were asking here just a second ago. So let me come back in to QReporter. Okay, so now let's go. I'm gonna go down to a different one down here. Let's just come down to, I've been using Garth Brooks, so let's come to here. So in QReporter, we have a new feature that's different than it was before. This has just been put out as recently as last night. So if I come into an invoice right here and hit print like this, if you have QPay in QFloors activated, our default reports now come up with a Pay Now button like this. Okay. If you don't have QPay activated, then this won't come, but our newest QReporter reports have this on. If you have a custom QReporter report and want this feature, you'll need to contact our support department, and they can put the Pay Now button on here. If I hit this Pay Now button like this, you can see that it takes me right back to this sales order or to this website again that we were just dealing with, right? Fills in all the information automatically from the customer, as well as the sales order number and the payment amount. Okay, this payment amount right now is the balance that they owe on the order. You can't right now, you can't change this. If you want this to be changeable, you'd have to contact us and get a customized one, or you would have your customer go to your website and pay through that if you want the amount to be adjustable for the customer, or give them the Pay Now button down here on the payments thing, put another payment amount on there. So just so you know, this is the default, that you can't change any of this right now. You select credit card or e-check like this, and then from here it's the same. Okay. All right. I'm going to keep going here. Okay, the new reports for the QReporter are currently out on our website. You need to download them. The last option that you have with our website, with our payment site, is we can just give you a link. If you just want a link like this, you can get it from our support department, and then you can just put that in your email. If you want to send it out of your Gmail or your Outlook, you can attach this down to the bottom of your email and put that link in there, and put in there, you know, to pay your bill, go to this site, and it will go ahead and take you to the site just the same way it would with a website button. The only difference is, instead of going to a website, it's on your personal email. Okay, these are all the things that you can now do with this online payments thing. It is crazy. It is awesome. The screen looks good. We've spent 9 months creating that screen for you guys, and it's very configurable. Have your own logo on it. a lot of good stuff going on with that. Okay. I'm just going to briefly mention this because we're running out of time. We really are here. But the newest thing that you can now do, and we're just finishing the testing on this, is to download payments that are put into our website, the website we've just been talking about. When a customer makes a payment there, you can now download those payments directly into QFloors, and they will post into QFloors without you manually having to put them in there. Okay. We're going to release this officially November 6th, after our users conference. So it'll be the week after. I didn't want to put a bunch of new stuff in there. We're still testing the last part of this, but it's working. I can show you. To get this, you also have to have a Q Connect account. If you have QPay, it's free. Okay, with QPay. The upgrade, you will also have to upgrade QFloors to 9.118 or later, and that one will be posted out on our website tonight. I didn't want a bunch of people going there before the thing and getting this, but for the download thing, it will be tonight. And lastly, if you want this feature, you can email us at qprosoftware.com and then just tell us to activate the QPay web download, and then we will put you on the list to get activated. Let me just show you what it does first for a second. I guess you would want to know that. So this is our Q Connect download button. I've already put some payments in there so that I didn't have to type in my credit card number on your screen. And so if you can see, if I hit on this, it'll say, hey, we have found 2 QPay payments waiting to be downloaded. Do you want to download these payments from Q Connect? And if you hit yes right here, it will go. Oh, I messed up because I wasn't logged in as my employee. So it didn't put them in there. Because you have to be logged in as an employee to do it, and I wasn't. So that was my fault. But I think I can show you that I actually have somebody that maybe can put another one back in there for me. And I'll see if they can put, but this is what it looks like. Let's see. Somebody put another payment in there for me. Let me show you. I'm going to log off. I'm just excited to show you that it works, right? Programmers are always excited for that kind of stuff. So I have to be logged in as an employee or it won't do it. Okay. So here's Kevin Bauman. So now if I hit this again, oh, it looks like there's 2 more waiting for me now. So now if I hit yes, it likes that I'm an employee now. And by the way, and so now it shows that there's 2 payments added, and we will save a report, an online payments report. It's just a file on your computer if you need to see which ones they were downloaded to, right? You'll also still be getting those emails notifying you of which ones were there, but you can see now that if I go in to this one that was done, you can see that it was done from the web, downloaded from the web, this $1 right here. Okay. You do have to have, in order to download, you have to have a security right to be able to adjust an employee name here in order to do that download. So not just anybody can do the downloads. And you can turn the downloads on or off. It doesn't, if you don't want them, you don't have to have it downloaded. It's just an extra new feature that we have coming through. Okay. You see here. So these are all, and if you want this downloaded payments from the website into QFloors, like I was just showing you, these are all the things that you need to do. And then send us an email to get you on the list, to get you updated, activate QPay web download. Okay. Whoa. All right. Surcharging. Let me talk about surcharging for just a second. A lot of you have seen this surcharging thing down here at the bottom. I'm not going to get into all the details, but basically surcharging is where you can charge your customer for the credit card fees so that you don't have to pay for their credit card fees, right? I'm sure you've heard about this. This reduces, it doesn't totally take away your credit card processing fees, and we'll talk about this in just a second, but it does reduce them significantly, like a lot, like you're talking about 75%. Okay. And we have somebody that Brian here who will be on with us in just a second. He will answer all of your surcharging questions. Surcharging is regulated. In QFloors, you cannot, and I'm going to just say this, you can't come to a line right here and put surcharging either in the product or the labor type and charge the customer for surcharging. You can't do it that way. Let me tell you why. If you do it here, you will be overcharging your customer more than what you're actually paying for that credit card. And it's against the regulations to make money on surcharging, which you would effectively be doing if you did it this way. If you charge them for surcharging in here, okay, you'll be charging them more than what you're actually collecting, unless you know that you charge them way less than their surcharge, like maybe 2% or 1.5%. But even then, if they're, you got to be careful in what you're doing. So I'm just telling you that there are regulations that go along with surcharging, and not to just ad hoc it, because there are things that you're going to miss. So we've gone through all this. We've put a lot of features in here for surcharging so that it's automatically calculated. If you take a credit card, if you take a debit card, if you take a check, we know when to surcharge, when not to surcharge, when to do the refund, when not to do the refund. I mean, there's a lot that goes into this and into the accounting part of surcharging. Okay. If you want more information on surcharging after this, just give us a call. We'll give you all the regulations. We'll tell you everything you need to know about it. Okay. And QFloors does do it. QFloors surcharging rate is 3% for everybody. All right. I think we're there. We're to the point where I was hoping we were going to be 20 minutes ago. So we're a little bit long, but let me answer all the rest of your questions. Adding QFloors line for surcharge is a no-no. Okay. All right. So we have some special guests here that we're going to bring on now. I'm going to be answering questions while we're bringing them on. Let's see. Can you change the test? Change the test of what is in the email request. Can you change the test? The amount, you can change the amount. You can change the you can change the
text.
The what?
Text.
Can you change the text of what? Oh, no. Well, you can have it customized. We can customize that, some of it for you. And you just need to be able to make sure that you save that. So in case it ever gets deleted, you can put it back in place. But yes, you could do that on the pay now request. Okay, the text. So they have to pay the exact amount for the pay now request. Out of the QReporter report, it's the exact amount, unless you get a customized one that lets them put in whatever amount they want. Okay, that's from the QReporter. From the pay now, you can tell them what one you want. So pay now requests, you can do whatever amount that you want, but it is that amount. That's the one. They can't overwrite it. But you can get a version from us that lets them put it whatever you want in there, if that's what you want. Okay. Is there a way now or plans in the future to use the all sales button and the pay now request to request and distribute payment across several invoices when a customer? We have not planned on. We have not made any plans on that yet. But he's saying on the all sales button to put some pay now requests in there so that you can request for more than one sales order at a time. We'll get with you on that, but as of right now, we don't have anything for that. If a customer would like to see the breakdown of the charge, will the pay now receipt show that, or just the transaction amount? How does the sales pro know when a pay now request has been paid? There are emails that you can set up with us And anytime that a pay now request from a website has been made, we will send it to however many email addresses that you want us to send it to. So you tell us who you want to be notified. It isn't specific to a salesperson, but it is specific. You can set up who you want to be notified. Okay. All right. I think we're here. Good to see you guys. I'm so sorry that took so long. I know Brian's all ornery because he's not going to eat now for a little while. Sorry about that, Brian. But we'll get through this as fast as we can. So we want to bring on these special guests with us. These are people that have been using QPro now or QPay now for a while and have experience with it. They come from different backgrounds, are using it in different ways. So we want to give them just a second to talk about it. And anybody that wants to ask them any questions, you can do that. And then I will get to the rate stuff at the very end of here, okay, after we're all done. I think some of the rate questions might even get answered here as they're talking. So that's why I kind of wanted to save it till right now. So we have Kerry, Lenz. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Can we ask you a few questions first? We're going to make you go first, if that's okay.
Sounds good. That's
okay.
Perfect.
How long have you been using QPay?
A little over a year, but I'm embarrassed to say it took Steve calling multiple times and then Chad finally calling and saying, Kerry, why aren't you using it? And I'll be honest, I was worried it was going to take a lot of time to set up like Heartland did. But that wasn't the case. It was super easy. It was plug and play and we were off and running. So
yeah, with Heartland, you had to have an IT guy and all that kind of stuff, but the terminals are super easy to plug in, right?
Yes, it is literally plug and play. I am no IT specialist, so I was very nervous, but Chad assured me, and it absolutely was plug and play.
I told you I'd buy a ticket to come out there to do it if you couldn't do it, right?
Yes.
So yeah, no, that is a great part about it. What were you using? You were using Heartland because those terminals were so hard, right?
We were Heartland before, tried to do multiples because they didn't have the ease of logging in. So right now, if a customer or we're not right at the terminal, we can have them just go to our website like you showed and use the pay here now and do that. Works very well for us. So we've really enjoyed the ease of using QPay.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Jennifer, I know that you were on a different system before, right? You weren't on any before QFloors. When you converted over to QFloors, then you switched to QPay. Is that right?
That's right. Actually, we started using QPay before our QFloors went live. We started using the terminal to start saving money. That was very important to us. And when we first started, besides saving money, the next thing that was most important to us was we felt like we chased people for money all the time. We had never had a link, that we could send a customer for them to pay at their leisure. We had to take that credit card over the phone, which is not good, or they had to come into the store, which is not good. So the QPay, it has changed our lives. In fact, before this, I talked to our staff and I said, hey, I'm going to be back in the back office because we're doing a little remodeling in our front showroom, and I didn't want a jackhammer going off while we were on the webinar. But I said, I'm going to be in a back office. I'm going to be on a webinar with QFloors, and we're going to be talking about QPay. And they all were like, oh, tell them we love it. We absolutely love it. It's honestly changed the way we do business for the better. And I think it just brings us up to speed with many other industries that are able to send links and have customers pay when they're ready to.
Awesome. Do you mind me sharing how much you saved this year?
Yeah, go ahead.
So you're saving about $7,000. Let's see, I've got the exact number here. $6,940 this last year in credit card payments.
See, that's gone to my showroom remodel. We appreciate it greatly.
Yeah, and your QFloors maintenance, right? I mean, it almost pays for quite a bit of all of that too. True. And Kerry, do you mind if I share your number? $2,400. So it's $200 a month, right? For Kerry. All right, Brian, you're up. You're the man. So Brian, let me just introduce real quick. So Brian is the the brave soul that is on surcharging. Okay. And I know there was a lot of hesitation at first, Brian. How many times did you come back to our booth saying this isn't real? I can't do this. This isn't going to work. You're trying to trick me, all this kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
I think I was at Vegas and I was really super concerned about it. And I did. I probably stopped at your booth about 5 or 6 times saying, it triggered in my mind. And I'm like, well, I'm getting charged 3% if I pay on a credit card if I go somewhere else. So, it's definitely getting, it's one of those things that people are used to now. They're used to surcharging. We all see it. We all experience it when we go out. The first question everybody would ask me and say, "Oh my goodness, I'm gonna get surcharged. I'm going to lose a sale because of it." Obviously, when we talk about business trends, I'll just talk about my business in general. I've never subscribed, and I don't allow my people to subscribe to what's going on in the industry. So we find other ways to earn our business. So our business is not down, even this year. But our our actual credit card expenses, so our business is up and it's continued to trend up since we've did the surcharging. And we're down about 0.09%, almost 1%, in credit card fees. And for us, we have 3 locations. We do a lot of builder work. We have some builders that pay on credit cards and stuff as well. For us, that is a very, very substantial savings. The consumer, when you say we do a 3% credit card fee, they either do one of 2 things. They're going to say, well, okay, I'll do it because I know that I'm getting my trips and my miles off of it. And we kind of joking, if I'm there, I'm probably more comfortable with everybody else. I'll be like, well, I just don't want to pay for your miles. I really appreciate your business, but I'm not looking to send you on vacation too. But people actually pay it, or they pull out a debit card, or they actually, put it on a check. There are 2 different rates, and you can share that, Chad. There's a difference between a debit card, which you cannot surcharge, but it's a much lower rate, as most people would know. And then the credit card, the 3% surcharge.
So your actual effective credit card rate with debit cards and everything like that, you said 0.5%, right?
Yeah, we're at 0.5% right now.
0.5%.
2 years ago, I kind of did an analysis 2 years ago. It was at 1.4%.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was our expense that we incurred. So it's very substantial, and we never lose a sale to it. I mean, you are gonna get that one person that says, well, I'm doing it on a credit card, and Mrs. Jones's floors up the street is not gonna charge me a debit card, and it's the same amount of money, and I'm going there if I can't use my credit card. Well, okay, so I won't surcharge. There are times, there are exceptions, there are customers that we will step outside the surcharge. But I can tell you that this next generation coming up, to them, it's just second nature. They're used to paying a surcharge anytime they pay with a credit card. So we don't get much pushback from them.
Perfect. Yeah. And so, yeah, I think that answered all of my questions about it. I don't know. I think all these are great feedback about QFloors. Let me just say this about our QPay. Let me just say this about the rates, because we have a lot of questions. As we do an analysis, 95% of everybody that we've done an analysis on over the last 2 years is either equivalent or we're saving them money. I mean, I would say over 50%, it's substantial money. In fact, I'm just going to tell you, this last week, just a few days, 2 days before this webinar, we did an analysis on not a very big dealer. We will save them $32,000 in credit card fees this year. $32,000. It's the worst we've ever seen. Okay. Now, not everybody's like that, but we can do an analysis and can see it. Right. And so, I'm going to say, more than 50% of you will pay for your maintenance fee. There might be some of you where it's going to be almost the same because you're already getting a good deal, great deal on what you're doing. And, and we can't go any lower than that. But all these features that we're giving you, are they not worth anything? I mean, they got to be worth something, right? And then there might be 5% of you, like I've seen one guy in the last 2 years who is with a credit card company and they don't know what they're charging him because they're losing money on him every month. So I know that. Okay. So one day they'll catch up and they'll figure it out, and then they're going to jack him up, to more to make up for it. But that's a rare exception. From what I've seen, this should be applicable to almost every QFloors customer. I don't see a reason why not. And for us, it's been the best thing we've done. We can now support people. We can help people. We can, people are happy with it. I mean, I rarely hear, in 2 years, I don't think I've heard more than 1 or 2 complaints about this. And so I really think we've got the right thing, that we're doing the right thing, and we got it going. So yeah, Kerry.
One thing that I don't think we realize that is a cost savings, because we can't really quantify it, is the time savings. I mean, it's just there in the morning when I come in, my batches are closed, I can reconcile, and I'm moving on to the next thing for the day. So to me, that's huge, just the amount of time it saves me doing that.
All right. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Let me do this. There's a few questions in here. And our ACH rates are going down. We're going with a new company. So Brian, and I know you're using ACH, just so that we've got a new company that we're testing, and the rates will be going down, and they're a lot better. Like they're a lot better at approving things. So we've got a new partnership. We will be switching all our ACH customers over to this new company within the not too distant future here. We got approval from them. We've met all their requirements and stuff. Their name is iStream, is the name of it. And so yeah, they're below 0.5% now for an ACH. And you use ACH, right, Brian? Our ACH
Yes,
feature? Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. If you have any specific questions for Kerry, Brian, or Jennifer, just put their name in here and I'll read them for them if you do. A couple more questions. Would we need a specific credit card terminal, or do we continue to use the same one? I don't know. If you're on Heartland, it's a new one. If you're on QPay, it's the same. But if you're on Heartland, you'll need to use a different credit card terminal. Obviously, those other ones they're done with. Can you choose who you surcharge and to who you don't? Is that legal to do? There are some requirements about surcharging. One of them is you have to prominently display in your store that you are going to surcharge them. You don't have to. You can use our debit feature, which will not surcharge them. But if you do that, then the dealer will end up paying for that surcharge, the 3%. So you don't want to it's like Brian says, there's a rare exception where he may have to do that. But in general, no, you're not going to do that. You don't want to do that. But there is a way in QFloors that you don't have to charge them. So that's the regulation. You have to display it prominently. Let's see. Will you have a new terminal option? What is the cost of that? These are our terminals. They're $500. For anybody that we're still continuing this offer, for every person that signs up, every one account, you can get a free terminal. Okay. It's on a rebate, so you have to pay for the terminal up front. It's $540, I believe, for these newer ones. These are brand new. Touch. They've got the latest stuff on them. They're really nice terminals. You'll see them everywhere if you go out to eat and stuff. But they're but you can get a rebate. Talk to us about that and we can help you with those. Will the payments be linked directly to our bank account? Yes. We're depositing, by the way, when we do a deposit, for most people, it's next day deposit. Are you guys getting next day deposits into your accounts? Okay. Yeah, as long as you batch out early enough, you can get next day deposits. The rebate is $375. Sorry about that. So $540 for the terminal. We'll give you a $375 rebate on any new terminals. My people are telling me to calm down. So, all right. I'm going to just ask you, Kerry, Brian, or Jennifer, did any of you learn anything new about what QPay can do that that you didn't know or that you might consider using?
Yeah, the link on the website, I think would be helpful, that we can direct. We could take the link, put it in our signatures on our emails. I don't know. I've already emailed your people at least 3 times already.
I love Jennifer. I did the same thing, Jennifer. While we were on this, I actually did the same exact thing.
Nice.
We already have the links on all of our emails, so it's been working great. I'm super excited that now we might be able to add that pay now button to like a statement, like end
Yes.
of the month statements that are going out. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great feature.
Well, that's why I wanted you all to be here, because even people that have been using it for a while, I'm sure there's some things that we're not completely clear on what we can do, right?
And
I
I'm going to
just-
be one of the first to email to see if I can get the download of the payment, so they just automatically go into QFloors.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. I was going to ask if that was of interest to any of you.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
That was one of
absolutely.
my emails.
Nice. We win again, I think. Thank you so much for staying late. Thank you so much for being on here with us. I really appreciate it. And if there's any other questions that I haven't answered, that, of course, call our support department, email our support department. You guys know that we'll answer the phone. And that is very different from our experience with a lot of our other partners in payments. So this has just been great. Thank you so much, you guys, for taking the time to be on here with us. Thank you, everybody else. Really appreciate it. Let us know if you need any. Oh, I've got one more thing before y'all leave. Where am I at? Right here. There is a QR code that we put on here. If you have any more questions, that if you don't have QPay, you can hit these links. You can go and get a demo request. People can help you. We can get back with you, have our sales department get back with you. So this is to request a demo. That's it. That's all I got. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for hanging in there with us for another 20 minutes. Appreciate it. See y'all later.